Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a half clown, half normal makeup look. This is again another makeup I found on Pinterest. What a surprise! I have just spent the last half an hour trying to put in a contact on one side of my face, and I can't get it to stay in my eye, so I've just given up. And I'm either gonna have to edit the eye for a cool photo or just have normal eyes. So yeah, anyway, let's get into the video and get on with the makeup. So I just went off camera and did a bit of a difference on both sides. So on this side we've glued the brow down to cover it, and this side I filled the brow in and carved it out. So we kind of know which side is going to be our base now. I think I'm going to start with the more normal side because then I can draw the harsher line using the white. So we're going to start with that. Oh my god guys, look at this. iOS 26 feature on my watch. I can watch myself on my watch. Not that I need to, but we're going to start on this side. So I'm just taking my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer and I'm just going to put a little bit of a base down on the eye. Not too much because we already did carve it out. Under the brow. And I'm just going to blend that in with the thick, dense brush. Ready to apply an eyeshadow. Now, in the inspiration photo, I think I could probably find her TikTok, to be honest, because it was a video that I saw on Pinterest, so her handle might be on the video. Anyway, for eyeshadow, I'm taking my Matte Bright Beauty Bay palette and this Neon Luminous Glitters palette. And there's a good shade of darker greens and light greens, which is what we're going for. Just going to take a bit more of a fluffy brush and I'm going to go in with the shade Granny Smith, which is like a medium sort of green. Face this way again. This is our kind of like transition shade. And then bring it up towards the front. And at the front we're going to have glitter, so most of the eyeshadow is going to be towards the end of the eye. I'm going to go in with one of the darker greens with the same brush. So the next shade is Oasis, and I'm just going to keep this to the crease. And of course it'll blend out a little into the green, but we don't want to get rid of that colour of green we already applied. Also guys, I really want to cut my hair into a bob, but I told myself, because I have this thing of wanting to grow my hair out really long and then changing my mind halfway through and just chopping it off because that's quicker than growing it out. And I always get an itch to do that. So I told myself I'd grow it to a certain length and then chop it off and possibly donate it to the charity I Not Wigs for. But I'm kind of hating having to find something to do with my hair. Like, I want it long, but I don't want it long every day. But I haven't got any good extensions or anything that feel good or look good, so I'm just a bit like bummed out. But anyway, I've just then gone in with the next shade up, which is Labyrinth. So guys, I always go forward, look in my palette and still talk as if I'm going to be here editing it and leaving that in. Taking the shade Illicit, which is black. I'm just going to keep that to the eyelid here to deepen that up. A bit darker. And then for glitter, I'm just going to take this like dark green shade. As you can see, I've used it quite a bit. And I normally just take that on my finger because it picks up quite well because it's adhesived already. And I'm just going to place this on the whole inner corner of the eyeshadow. And this is kind of looking like one of my Christmas eyeshadow looks I did before, but it's definitely what the inspiration photo was given and I want to recreate that. So anything I do find with this glitter palette, it is so good and they're so intense and it just looks good. I do not ever get the glitter off my face, and not just the eye area. Like when I remove my makeup, I'll try and keep it to the eye area. I'll end up with glitter everywhere. So I just added a bit of my black MAC Stack mascara to the lashes on this eye, and now I'm going to go in with a base. I'm just going to go in with a little bit of Power Grip Primer just to let it sit evenly on the skin. I am going to put this all over. And this is just so we have a bit more of a hydrated and sticky base for the makeup to go on rather than for it to last. I'm going to switch up my foundation today. I'm going to take my Collection Lasting Perfection Glow. I'm just going to pump this on. And then I'm just going to take my big Morphe fluffy brush and blend that in this half. And I mean, it doesn't really matter if we go over at this point. And then I'm just going to put a bit of that Fit Me concealer under my eyes. On my chin, but obviously we're going to go more to the left than we would normally with a full face. And then I've just got a bit of an imperfection there, so we'll cover that. Then I'm just going to take a big painted sponge to blend the bigger areas. And then I'm just going to switch to a smaller sponge for in the corner of my eye so that we can get that precision under there. And then I'm just going to take my little triangular powder puff and some Revolution translucent loose powder. And I'm just going to set under the eye. And instead of baking, I just like to press that into the skin. And then I normally just do this on all of my high points where I put the concealer. Now I'm just going to take my Pink Honey bronzing face wash in the shade Fudge Glaze. I'm just going to take a little angle brush. And then I'll just do a little bit on my nose. And then I'm just going to take my Blush Bomb Revolution Liquid Blush. I'm going to do a little dab of that there. And then I'm just taking this little fluffy Morphe brush. I'm just going to blend that alongside the bronzer. And then for highlighter, I like to use this Golden Lights Revolution Baked Highlighter and the original highlighter brush from Morphe. And I just take a little bit and then dust that onto the cheek, kind of on top of the blush. And then just take a little bit above my brow. And I would normally put some on my nose, but I'll do a little, but I feel like it's just going to be covered. And then I'm just taking some of that green eyeshadow onto the lower lash line before we finish up this side. So I just added a bit of lower lash mascara to this side again. And we're going to move on to the next side. Like I said, we'll come back to lips at the end because I think it will just come together perfectly then. So without looking too crazy, moving on to this side, I'm taking today my Athena palette and we're going to use the oil white. It's going to be hard work to get off. So I just got this white paint for our foundation. I'm going to start by applying it with the spatula so that we can blend it a bit easier. I'm just going to take this kind of like flat brush. This is Moda Pro. And I'm just going to blend this like I would foundation. Obviously it's a little bit thicker than a normal foundation. And then I'm just taking a pointed face painting brush to draw the straight line down the middle of the face. And now I'm just taking some talcum powder to set this side of the face. I'm going to take a bit of a smaller brush first to go in under the eye and on the eyebrow. And now on this side I'm going to start by taking a black from that oil paint and a bit of a smaller brush. I'm going to draw on an eyebrow where my eyebrow is. And start with a little point. So that is the eyebrow done, and I'm just going to take another blending brush and we're going to go in with some greys and some blacks from that matte palette. I'm going to start off with the shade Drizzle, just a light grey shade. We're going to do eyeshadow similar to the other side. And then I'm taking the shade Threat, which is a bit of a more grey, darker grey colour. Kind of created like a smoky eye rather than a halo or a cut crease. And then I'm just going to take a little bit under the eye. Well, apparently my phone has run out of storage as well, which is literally impossible. This is what really annoys me about Apple, and I'll say this, is I paid for the second up iCloud there used to be and have been. I have 13,000 photos on that iCloud. I deleted half of them and it still says storage full, and now it's saying that my phone storage is full as well. So what's actually on my iCloud is my question. I'm in the process of trying to remove my iCloud and put all my photos on an SD card, but I still want the last year, 2 years worth of photos on my phone. But now it's saying my phone storage is full from that. Literally how? 256 gigabytes, literally from what? Honestly, I'm done with. Back to the makeup. I was saying I'm going to put a shimmery silver on this eye. Shade Glass. Just to add a bit of that to this eye. To draw on the rest of the details, I'm actually going to switch to this water-based face paint, which so I've just kind of like drawn this under eyeliner on the bottom, and now we're going to add some points to the bottom as well. I'm going to start with the biggest one under here. Like so. I can do the nose as well. I'm just going to draw a circle. And then finally is the mouth, which is just going to be a really extended version of the lips. So I'll just outline my natural lips. Kind of like just draw from it. And I'm just going to finish this off by taking a lip liner on this side, and this is shade Sour in the MAC lip pencil. And then I'm just going to take my collection Juicy Infusions clear gloss and put this all over the side of the lip. I'm going to make sure not to press my lips together because we will end up with transfer from the black side onto the pink. I believe that is the finished makeup, so I'll go and record a few clips of the finished makeup for you now, and I'll be back with you for the outro. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed and hope you're feeling inspired for your spooky Halloween makeup looks. I really enjoyed this one. I think it's really cute and quite a simple one, to be honest. And yeah, I just hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment if you feel like it. All my socials will be linked in the description below, both client and content creation socials. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you back here next week for another one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.